Hi guys, and welcome to Team Leeki's Week 9 MBL Season 2 Team Builder. This week we are preparing for our match against Team Flawless. You are here with myself, Osirus, and unfortunately I am not joined by my teammate this week. Unfortunately, we just had a few scheduling issues. We couldn't sit down together this week to get the team builder done. So my good friend Alex Hibiki has asked me just to do it myself. I'm a little bit sad that he's not here to kind of talk us through the teams and the ideas that we had going into this game, because a lot of them were kind of conceived by him and we kind of ran with a lot of his ideas this week. So I will try my best to go through them as best I can, I guess. So basically we're going up against Team Flawless this week. Very threatening team. We're going up against Beryl and Angus. So really cool team draft they had. Very threatening as well. And they're definitely not a team to underestimate by any means, because they've had some really good results so far in the MBL, and we know they have got some huge threats on their team that we need to really be aware of and make sure that we've got answers for. So just to quickly recap their team before we get into any sort of team building. They have got that Magmortar, the Hooper and Bound, Salamence, Mamoswine, Togekiss, Serena Infinite, Galvantula, Tentacruel, and Parasect. So straight away, the first thing that stuck out to us was the Magmortar. Now, Team Flawless have actually had, I think, one of the, in my opinion, probably one of the best drafts in the MBL Season 2 this time around. I think they've got such a good variety of different Pokemon, and they've got a lot of different measures of speed control in there with Tailwind, Icy Wind, Trick Room, Electro Web. They've got Rage Powder support, they've got Follow Me support, so they've got a lot of options and tools to kind of support those big threats, namely that Magmortar. And that's the one thing I was definitely really scared about, because I think it's been one of the probably the most talked about Pokemon in the MBL Season 2 this season round, from at least I think so anyway, just because of its crazy ability, which is Soul Heart, I'm pretty sure it is called. I will just double check that right now. I'm not going to do it on Showdown, am I? But yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Basically what happens with that ability, anytime a Pokemon goes down, if it's your partner, if it's an opposing Pokemon, Magmortar gets a special attack boost, which is crazy. When you think, you're thinking about, all right, we'll take one side down. So you take one side down, if that Magmortar is on the field while you've taken your opponent's left side down, let's say, it's got +3 in special attack, which is crazy. So every time anything goes down, and in the process, if any of your Pokemon go down, it's getting boosts as well. So it's just really scary, and I can't believe it's been allowed in the MBL. I think no one kind of really, when we were kind of banning stuff at the start of the season before the draft, we all kind of picked things that we thought belonged in certain tiers and things like that. Again, it seemed to be one of those things really overlooked because it's stupidly overpowered. So yeah, definitely, without going on any further, that was something that we definitely had to be aware of. The Hooper and Bound as well, the Dark Psychic type there, does threaten our Necrozma with those big stab dark attack type attacks it gets. It gets that, is it Hyperspace Fury that it gets, which is, I think, a base 100 dark type attack. So that's very threatening as well. And also, you know, you've got things like Galvantula as well that can hit us for super effective damage. And when we kind of set up, normally we'd look at a team like this and, you know, we'd be like, right, well, Rhyperior works really well here. Rhyperior is great for Magmortar. If we can get it in Trick Room, it's got the Stone Edge as well, or Rock Slide for things like Salamence, Mamoswine, Togekiss. The Earthquake does good damage to Infernape. Rock Stone Edge does good damage to Galvantula. Tentacruel gets ruined by Earthquake or ground type attacks. So you want to kind of protect the Necrozma, but it is heavily threatened. They've got Fake Out support as well. And the thing about us going down the Trick Room route this week was that Parasect. It is the slowest thing on their team, base 30 speed. It would underspeed our Rhyperior, and it does threaten with stab, very strong grass type attacks that can potentially take us down in one shot. So that was something that we had to be very aware of, and I think kind of made us go down the route that we did, because we've played Trick Room most weeks throughout this tournament so far, and there's no reason for us not to like really try and have a Trick Room mode possibly in our strategy going up against them this week, especially because their slowest Pokemon other than that Parasect is the Magmortar with a 65 base speed. So the majority of our Trick Room attackers like the Rhyperior or anything like that can underspeed it and threaten big damage. But let's get into it, guys, because I am going to try and it's probably not going to be as in-depth as it probably once would have been with my partner Hibiki here, so I'm going to try and get through it the best I can. It might be a little bit shorter than usual if I can stop rambling on about everything. So pretty much we came up with the lead, Abomasnow and Ambipom. That was going to be our kind of go-to lead because if you look at their team, they've got lots of stuff they can kind of set up with, like the Salamence threatens with Tailwind, Togekiss, Tailwind again. We didn't think they'd go for Trick Room because they've only really got the Parasect under Trick Room that can take advantage of that. Previous weeks we've put things like safety goggles on stuff like Magmar to get around spores and things like that, so that could have been an option that they were thinking of to kind of combat against that. So we didn't really feel like we wanted to go with the speed control, the Trick Room this week, because I think they would expect the Rhyperior, and a lot of teams that we faced up to now have really been going hard with techs against that Rhyperior just because of how threatening it is in a Trick Room. So we didn't think this week would be any different, so we kind of decided to go down a different road this week, not with the Trick Room as our main kind of setup and try and sweep through the team, just because of that Parasect and how threatening it is. If we did go for that, it could just freely come in and start sporing stuff, and you know, it's got Y-God support, and it would just be really disruptive to our strategy. So we kind of tried to go about it a little bit differently. So we kind of expected, I feel like we expected more the Salamence Togekiss lead with maybe Infernape. That's a lead that they've kind of used in the past few weeks when they've been playing. Also Infernape Galvantula is another lead that they've been going with. Both things, the Infernape helping with that fake out and allowing the Salamence or the Galvantula or the Togekiss to set up a Tailwind or get a Z move off or something like that. So that was something that we wanted to be aware of. And Abomasnow with the Focus Sash, I'm just going to pull up our showdown here. So we've just went for a pretty straightforward Abomasnow here. We've got Blizzard, Energy Ball, Ice Shard and Protect with the Focus Sash. It's going to be a means of us getting our weather up. We went for a hasty nature, so we're not reducing the power of Ice Shard because we can potentially pick up a one-hit KO if that Salamence has been chipped with Hail, which is pretty nice. So we didn't want to reduce that. With the Focus Sash, we don't need to worry about the defenses too much. We're going to be taking any big hit if possible. And the Hail also kind of helps us break potential sashes on things, like we've seen them put the sash on the Galvantula and stuff like that before. Ambipom is the other lead. I'll just switch over quickly to the other side of the field. So Ambipom was our other lead here. We wanted to bring Ambipom this week because of just the fast fake out, and I think, you know, it stops and really kind of hampers them maybe wanting to bring the Infernape, which could be quite threatening to our team, just with its speed and its stab, fighting type attacks for threaten things like Gyarados. Obviously Abomasnow doesn't want to face down against it. Beedrill's threatened by it. Necrozma doesn't do a bad job, and Magmor kind of aren't too worried about it. But for the majority of what we're bringing this week, Infernape was something that we needed to make sure that we had at least a way to stop that first turn. And if they did go with Infernape or in Salamence or Togekiss, for example, at least that first turn we can stop the fake out onto us and get a Blizzard off or something like that and start kind of rolling from there. Okay, so we've got the Abomasnow. It is straightforward. With the Focus Sash, we didn't really have to do much else. So we'll go down, and this will be, I think this is my side of the field I'll be playing. Yeah. So I'll be at Abomasnow side, and Hibiki will be the Ambipom side. So we've covered the Abomasnow. What else does it kind of hit on their team? Obviously, it offers that nice Ice type for the Salamence, Togekiss, Serena, Parasect as well, and then we've got the Grass stab as well for things like Mamoswine. And that's about it really for the grass there. So we're not really needing it too much, but I think because of the Mamoswine being as threatening as it is, it kind of warrants playing it this week just for that reason. So we'll move on to our next Pokemon on this side, which is the Mega Beedrill. So the Mega Beedrill we will be bringing this week. Again, we haven't really went for anything too fancy with the EV spread. We went for an Adamant Nature, max attack, max speed, just to maximize our speed, maximize our attacks, so our attacks are doing as much damage as possible. And I believe the speed on Adamant allows us to still outspeed Scarfed Adamant Mamoswine, which is quite nice. So we can U-turn out of there if we want to, and kind of just try and reposition our board position as and when if we need it. So Mega Beedrill here is going to be really good this week. We've opted for the moves. We've got U-turn for board positioning, pivoting out of there, kind of readjusting our board positions and stuff like that. Got Poison Jab as our main stab type of attack along with the U-turn, and then for coverage we've got Drill Run. So if we look over their team, you can see that they've got the Magmortar that's hit. It'll be taking decent damage from the Drill Run if we're in a bit of a sticky situation. The U-turn picks up the one-hit KO on Hooper and Bound. We've got to be careful of Intimidates and things like that though, which we do need to be aware of. Obviously U-turn will be handy against things like Salamence and Mamoswine, but Poison Jab also does a ton of damage to these two. It picks up the KO on Togekiss most of the time, depending on how heavily invested they are in defenses. Serena is really threatened by it. We've got the Drill Run for that Infernape. Again, Poison Jab is doing good damage to that Galvantula. Drill Run kind of covers the Tentacruel as well, and Parasect is going to be taking good damage from that the Poison Jab. So overall, Beedrill's a really good shout here. We do need to play with it quite carefully because, like I say, they do have a lot of support options in their team. You know, they've got things like Fake Out, Feint on the Infernape. So if it is on the field, we have to be a bit careful with if we have to feel like we're protecting it that turn, just to be aware of those sort of things. But overall, Beedrill's kind of offering us that really nice, fast defensive threat that we kind of need to really kind of cut through their team, and that's kind of the main consensus we've kind of went with this week. I feel like we're just kind of trying to go more offensive, not mess around with speed control and things like that, and just go straight down the line and just try and take out threats when we've got the opportunity to. So that kind of covers the Beedrill, Mega Beedrill there. I don't know if there's much else to add there. We've got the Magmar to make up the final slot on this team. Now Magmar, we could have opted to go for the safety goggles because of that Parasect. But we kind of felt like Magmar's going to play quite an important role this week, so we opted for the Eviolite, just to give it that extra, that bulk in those defenses that we kind of need it for, to provide that supporting role for things like Gyarados and Necrozma later in the game when we do bring it in. So we've got Flamethrower, which we opted for over Fire Blast or Overheat, just for the more consistent damage on things like Magmortar, the Mamoswine, the Serena, Galvantula, and that Parasect. So it just, rather than risking any accuracy drops or stat drops or anything like that, that's the only reason we went with it on there. We've got the supporting cast of Follow Me and Helping Hand. So with Follow Me, it kind of, like I said, protects the Gyarados to a certain extent, allows us to get our attacks off with it, and the Necrozma as well. So we'll get onto them a bit later, but the EV spread now, I think the EV spread allows us to survive an Adamant Mamoswine Earthquake, I'm pretty sure, and I think that's all it really did. I don't think there's much. I think we definitely survived like a Scald from the Tentacruel with our special attack investment, and I think those were the two big threatening attacks that could come out, kind of really threaten the KO on us. So that kind of covers that, I guess. If I remember stuff as I'm going through, guys, I will come back to it. So we'll go over to Hibiki side of the field here. We've got that Ambipom, so that's the other part of our lead here. Ambipom, like we've already mentioned, does offer that fake out support to help us against the Infernape we went for Fire Punch as coverage here. Now we did talk about this third slot. We've got Giga Impact, we went for the Normalium Z and U-Turn, again just for a bit of positioning, and it does threaten big damage and potentially a KO on that Hooper Unbound, which is really nice because we do outspeed it with the Ambipom if it's not scarfed. But like I was saying with the Fire Punch, we kind of opted for that. We were kind of really toying with a lot of ideas here, like knockoff being a potential idea for Ambipom here. But we ended up going with the Fire Punch because it just gives us a bit of better coverage against that Magmortar, which we felt is definitely the most threatening thing on their team. The Fire Punch also kind of gives us an option against the Parasect as well as the Serena and the Mamoswine. I mean, we could have went for something like I've said, knockoff to get rid of any potential berries or choice scarfs or anything like that, but we felt the Fire Punch was probably more beneficial and more consistent, I think, overall with what we wanted Ambipom to be doing within this match. It's primarily there to with that fake out support, and then, you know, if we get the opportunity anytime to launch that Normalian Z Giga Impact, it does threaten chaos on a lot of their team. You know, the Hooper is, I'm sure, roll. Salamence again, if we're not intimidated, it's very close. It can potentially pick up the KO onto a Mamoswine. It does good damage to that Togekiss, which is going to be really important if they do decide to bring it. Serena goes down, Infinite goes down, Galvantula, Tentacruel and Parasect all go down to that attack. So if we can utilize it properly, it can really come in clutch for us. So EV spread, really straightforward. We wanted it just to be as fast as possible, making sure that we were outspeeding the Infernape, which I believe is their joint fastest Pokemon on the team next to that Galvantula. So we didn't need to worry about anything other than that. And I think that really rounds up, obviously, the attack 252 there for just to maximize the attack damage from the moves that we've chosen. So I don't think there's too much else to mention with Ambipom. So we'll move on to our other Mega, which is on the other side of the field. Hibiki will be running this one. So this is Mega Gyarados. We'll have the Intimidate that we can really make a lot of use of from, I'm sure it's Adamant Nature as well. Just let me check that all the natures are in for what we've got so far. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we've got Adamant Nature. We just kind of wanted to maximize the attacks. Actually, we didn't go Adamant, we went Jolly, and there's good reason for that. So yeah, we went Jolly this week. EV spread again is a little bit straightforward because we were a bit concerned about the Mamoswine, and that was the one thing that we wanted to make sure that we did outspeed with Gyarados. So going Jolly, max speed, meant if they did go Jolly themselves, we'd outspeed it by at least 1 point, because it's base 80 speed stat Mamoswine, so it means we're always going to be able to guarantee, as long as it wasn't scarfed, that we'd be able to get those waterfalls off that threaten it really heavily, I guess. So so that was the main reason for that. We've just got a little bit of bulk. I can't remember exactly what the bulk is for. I don't think it's anything in particular. But the attack there, we've just dumped the rest of it there just to make sure that we're getting the most out of our attacks when we are getting them off. We opted not to go for Dragon Dance this week, primarily just to have the coverage for Waterfall, Ice Fang. We felt like we needed both of those because the Waterfall is going to come in really handy against the Mamoswine, the Infernape, and you know, things like Togekiss that we can hit for neutral damage. The Earthquake is really nice coverage here. It means as well that we're not walled completely. If they do bring that Tentacruel, we'll have a way to hit that, and especially that Magmortar as well. At least it gives us an option to hit that for good damage if we are out against it. It will threaten us with its fairy type attacks, but I think just rather going for that really optimizes it. And Ice Fang as well was another thing we felt we wanted to carry this week, just for that Salamence and the Togekiss and the Serena to a certain extent, and that Parasect. So kind of really just trying to cover our bases with our attacks this week rather than running any specific sort of strategy. But I think that covers pretty much everything. Like I say, we will come back to that. And then we'll move on to the last Pokemon on the side, which is our Necrozma. And we did opt for a little bit of a different set again this week. Like I said already, we aren't opting for Trick Room in the team this week. You know, our other well, that's the thing, like we could have went for it, but like I said at the start of the video, it was quite risky trying to go for it, especially when we'd kind of be centralizing the Trick Room around that Rhyperior and taking advantage of its just huge attacks and the threat that it would be to a lot of the opposing side of the field. But we felt like they'd probably be more prepared for that strategy than anything else, so that's why we didn't really want to run with it, and kind of hoped that by not running with it we'd throw them off slightly. So this Necrozma spread, what does it do? We've got 72 HP, 136 attack with a Brave Nature, 48 defense and 252 special defense. So basically what this spread allows us to do is survive a Z Bug Buzz from a Timid Galvantula 100% of the time, which is pretty nice. We survive an Adamant Hyperspace Fury from a 252 attack, Adamant Hooper, which is good. We've got a 31, they've got, if they go for a Hyperspace Fury with the Hooper and Bind, as long as we get an Intimidate off onto it, they've only got a 31% chance to one-hit KO, which is probably the best we could do from the EVs that we had kind of spare from the cards that we wanted, because that that attack stat that we've got there, that 136 attack EVs, is very specific. So basically we were very scared of the Magearna possibly having and holding the Shuka Berry to reduce the ground type attacks from something like Rhyperior, which would make a lot of sense. You know, it survives that attack and then can fire off a flash cannon to potentially pick up the KO. So that was something we were worried about, and we wanted to be able to kind of proc the berry, waste the berry, and then nuke it with the Ground Realmsy after that, so the Tectonic Rage after that. So what this this attack stat allows us to do is hit the Magearna, 252 HP Magearna, proc that Shuka Berry, and then the next turn the Ground Realmsy will pick up the KO 100% of the time, as long as we're not intimidated. So that's pretty much what we did with the Necrozma here. And if we just look as well at the team, we are threatened by the Hooper Unbound. Tectonic Rage gives us a way to kind of match up against the Magearna, and then Psychic is, we went for the Prismatic Laser, so that was a big nuke if we ever felt in a tight situation and we thought, oh, we might not get another attack off, let's just launch this out. Picks up the KO on a lot of their team. And then Psychic just for consistent damage, because they don't, outside of the Hooper, they don't have any, and the Magearna, they don't have any good switches in for Psychic type attacks. So you know, if the Magearna or the Hooper have went down, or if they're in and there's something next to it that has to switch out, we can pretty safely go for Psychic and know whatever's going to come in on that side of the field, as long as it's not either the Hooper or the Magearna, is going to take a good chunk of damage from any of those Psychic type attacks. So we didn't really feel like we needed too much coverage elsewhere from that. So that's kind of why we opted for it. EV spread, as I've explained. And I don't know what else to kind of really cover. Like I said, it's a bit hard without Hibiki here. Kind of going over everything, so sorry if it's a little bit all over the place, guys. The Pokemon that we're bringing, just to kind of throw our opponents off, are going to be Sylveon on the Abomasnow side and Rhyperior. I think it's that side, is it? Yeah. Sorry. So we should swap those over, so it's the other way round. So we're going to have the Rhyperior on the Abomasnow side, so it kind of may indicate that we've got the Lightning Rod for the Gyarados support. And obviously we want Rhyperior on the other side of the field to Necrozma. And then we brought Sylveon as well as the other, I think, no, we didn't bring Sylveon at all. This is a lie, we brought Rotom Frost, if I can even spell it properly. So yeah, we brought Rotom Frost on the other side to sit on the opposite side of the field to that Abomasnow. So as well could kind of hint that we might be bringing the Hail Mode to threaten that, because the Hail Mode, hopefully by having that Rotom Frost in team preview, does throw up questions if they have got the Salamence, do have the Togekiss, do they want to bring it? Because of the potential threat of that lead with the Abomasnow and the Rotom Frost there, throwing out blizzards, which wouldn't be nice for either of them. And yeah, that kind of rounds everything up, I think, guys. I'm not really too sure if I've left anything out. I probably have, but we can catch up with all of this stuff next week if we've left anything out, when I do sit down with Hibiki to do our team building next week. So as you know, the team builder is on my channel this week. That only means one thing, that the match itself will be over on my teammate Hibiki's channel tomorrow evening at 8 PM UK time. So do go over there, guys. It will all be linked in the description below. Go check out the match. It's going to be a really good game. Angus and Beryl are absolutely brilliant, so I'm really looking forward to playing them both. Just not playing that team, I think it's very threatening. It's not going to be an easy match at all. We've kind of opted, like we've talked for the last however long we've been doing this, that we're not going with a Trick Room or Speed Control mod this week, kind of working more on the plan that they're going to tech more against the Speed Control, which hopefully will allow us to get a little bit of a foot up by them doing that, and you know, us not bringing the Rhyperior. We are going to leave the Electabuzz and the Sylveon at home this week. The Sylveon didn't really feel like it was going to offer too much. It could be good against certain stuff, but you know, the Magina does threaten it pretty hard. Tentacruel we're not going to be doing too much against, and I think just the other options we had on the team were a lot better, and the same can kind of be said for the Electabuzz. It's not really offering too much this week, where the Magmortar does offer a lot of support in place of it. So alright, that is it, guys. I hope it's been alright. Like I say, pop over to Hibiki's channel tomorrow evening and at 8 PM, and you can watch the match live. Really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get another win and edge a little bit closer to that playoffs that we're kind of aiming for. So we've only got 2 weeks left after this week, so next week we will be going up against Team Nutscald. So do tune in. The team builder will be on my mate Hibiki's channel next week, and the match will be on my channel. So that'll be a great match as well. But first of all, we've got to get through Team Flawless, and it's not going to be easy in the slightest. You can also check out the team builders on, I don't know who it is, Beryl or Angus's channel this week, and the match on their channel from their perspective. See how they prepare for our match, and their channels and all their social links will be linked in the description below, as well as all the MBL Season 2 handles and social media stuff as well. So you can go over there and check out all the analysis team work that they've been doing, which is amazing. So the YouTube channel for the MBL Season 2, do go and check that out if you haven't already. There is a fan Discord as well, so you can get involved with that and support your most favorite teams. So if you're a Team Leeki supporter, hop on the Discord and vote for Team Leeki, because we need lots of support. We need as much support as we can get. As I say, there's not too many weeks left. I think there's 3 weeks including this one. So if we can get 2 wins out of the next 3, we probably will make playoffs. So that's what we're aiming for. So hopefully we can make a good start this week, and then continue it on with maybe next week lock that playoff place, and it takes a bit of the pressure off going into that last week. But we'll see what happens, guys. Thanks as always for sticking around, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow night. Let me know on your thoughts about our team preparations today. I have skimmed over the surface of a lot of it. As I say, it's a bit more difficult. It's been a little bit of time since we put the team together, and not having my teammate here has made it a little bit difficult, but I hope I kind of rounded off everything as well as I could, so it makes a little bit of sense. But let me know what you guys think of the matchup, think of the team selection that we've made, and let us know what you think of the match tomorrow as well once you've seen it. So guys, thanks for watching as always, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow for that match over on my teammate Hibiki's channel. So I'm going to stop dragging this on, and I will see you all later. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves, and bye bye.